the Cheops pyramid, it is in Egypt, in Giza, and they are basically the three ones standing. The Mycenos, the Chephren, and the Cheops. Now, it was built 4,600, 4,700 years ago for Cheops, a pharaoh, also the king of Egypt. And it has 230 meters on the ground, 230 meters, 230 is 230 meters. It is 150 meters high with an angle of 52 degrees. And it had, like the other one, like the Chephren still at the top, a white limestone. It is also built out of limestone. And the burial chamber is granite, and also the sarcophagus is granite of shaped Cheops. Now, and there was discovered in 1954 at one site there is a place with a ship with which Cheops was brought, untouched, 4,600 years ago. Now, how was it built? Well, first of it has over 2 million blocks of stone, of limestone, 1 times 1 times 1 meter, 1 cubic meter, weighing 2 tons, 2.5 tons, 2.3 million of these stones, and Mokatan hills, and they were quarried and then brought in by sledge and bears, and now when brought up in such serpentines up on one side of the pyramid up, it is an assumption that there were 100,000 people working, 4,000 at the construction site, 96,000 somewhere else. That is just an assumption. And now, how was it built? The ground, that was first the bedrock. They were firstly on the rock, they were making mud at the outside, and then we were putting water on it. And then we were digging trenches, so the water is standing at all levels at the same height, and then we were leveling it down the ground to the height of the trenches. So basically that way it was flat, even, because they could just put water onto it, and the water is exactly flat. And now you can just measure how deep is the water, and you know how much has to be done away to make it exactly fitting. And when there was a lot of build, and now from the one side there goes a staircase down to an uncompleted burial chamber, and a bit into the staircase, there goes then a staircase up to another uncompleted burial chamber, but that uncompleted burial chamber leads then through the grand gallery of Broadway up to the burial chamber of Cheops, 10 meters long and 5 meters wide and 5 meters high, out of granite, with granite sarcophagus, and that is the burial chamber of Cheops. And the sun can sometimes break at the sides of the sites around like that in the winter. And that is according to Lionel Gorexi's Worlds of Wonder book on the pages 18, 19, 20 and 21 or something. Hi, welcome. I'm trying to learn architecture. Today the Cheops pyramid, and after I've done that, we're gonna do squat training. And if you participate in the squat training, then it's really our basically. We're having a big entry to the pyramids of Giza, and I don't know how Giza is pronounced. And one of the pyramids, the biggest one, is a Cheops pyramid, so we're gonna go over the text and trying to gather the information together said about the Cheops pyramid. The pyramids of Giza. The pyramids of Egypt are without doubt the most famous structures ever built. Of the 70-odd pyramids built over 1,000 years, the 3 at Giza, the gigantic tombs of the pharaohs Cheops, Chephren and Mycenos, are by far the largest. So there are something like 70 pyramids at all, and these 3 at Giza, the Chephren, the Cheops and the Mycenos, are the 3 biggest ones. They were built 4,600 years ago during the 4th dynasty, and these Giza pyramids came to be considered the greatest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and they are the only ones still standing. The largest of the 3 Giza pyramids is the pyramid of Cheops. Okay, Cheops, the largest pyramid of the 3 of Giza. They are 70 at all, built 4,600 years ago during the 4th dynasty, and they are Mycenos and Chephren next standing to the Cheops one, often called the Great Pyramid. In its base area of about 50,000 square meters, it would be possible to fit comfortable St. Paul's Cathedral and Westminster Abbey, St. Peter's in Rome, and the cathedrals of Milan and Florence. Okay, the base is 50,000 square meters big. The Great Pyramid is estimated to contain some 2 million limestones. 2 million limestones weighing 2.5 tons each. and measuring 1 meter times 1 meter times 1 meter, 1 cubic meter. 2 million stones, 50,000 square, with a base, 2.5 tons per block, which has 1 cubic meter. As astonishing as the size of a Great Pyramid is the accuracy of its construction. At the base, the average length of the 4 sides is 230 meters. The difference between the longest and shortest baseline is just 20 centimeters. And the 4 corners make almost perfect right angles to within fractions of 1 degree. So the 4 corners, so the pyramids of Giza, the first thing is they have 4 corners. And they are very exact, almost exactly right angles, and these are 230 meters always. By observing the stars, the builders of the Great Pyramid were able to align its sides to face the cardinal points of a compass, also to within fractions of a degree. With an angle of elevation of 52 degrees, the Great Pyramid rises to a height of nearly 150 meters. I don't understand the middle part. By observing the stars, the builders of the Great Pyramid were able to align its sides, so the sides of the pyramid, so the sides, to face the cardinal points of a compass, also to within fractions of a degree. Okay, we understand the other thing, 52 degrees elevation, so a little more than an eighth of full circle, 52 degrees and 150 meters high. 2.5 tons per block, 2 million of these blocks, 230 meters, 90 degrees, and 50,000 square, 4,600 years old, 4th dynasty, Egypt, with Cernius, Cheops, Cheops. Nobody knows how many people worked on the Great Pyramid or exactly how it was built. Vast numbers were certainly necessary. Sir Flinders Petrie, the great archaeologist, calculated that 100,000 men transported the blocks to the site and another 4,000 worked on the actual construction. Guesses how, maybe we're going to say, guesses how many people worked there. One person could be 100,000 people. 100,000. 100,000 people transporting the blocks and 4,000 working on the actual construction site. It means there are 25 as many people suggested as workers on the Great Pyramid, working not at the pyramid as at the pyramid. The first task was leveling the pyramid's bedrock foundation. Okay, the bedrock foundation, so the ground was leveled. This was done by surrounding the base area with mud, surrounding, I say, and filling it with water. Trenches were dug in the rock floor at equal depths from the water surface. Then the water was run off and the rock chipped away to level of the trenches. So surrounding the base with mud and filling now the whole thing with water, so the whole base. Trenches were dug in the rock floor at equal depths from the water surface. When the water was run off and the rock chipped away to the I get it. They basically filled the whole thing just with water on top of it. And now where we're going, but everywhere has to be the water 10 centimeters deep. So I just could go there with a little stick and look, no, it's not 10 centimeters, it's just 9, make a little bit away. And we were going through it and made everywhere with a little trench in, so we had not to do it everywhere. We're going just with a little stick behind everywhere that was not deep enough, we chopped a little bit off to make it exactly 10 centimeters or whatever deep. Then we made the water away, and where the trenches were, we made also the rest exactly to that level. It would make more sense to make it directly with water, whatever. That is why we did it. Is it a knowing or a suggestion? They say that it's the way. It makes sense. In this way, the foundation was leveled to an accuracy of within half an inch, nearly 30 millimeters at the outside edge. So on 1 centimeter accurate. It would be a bit astonishing if it would be less. If it would be more. I mean, you have water, as I just said, you just have to take a stick and look if it's 10 centimeters deep, and if it's 9, it's a centimeter off. You have to make it work. After being quarried in the Mokattam hills, the limestone blocks were brought to the site by sledge and barge. So Mokattam hills is the name. The Mokattam hills, where this limestone was made in quarries out of the rock. They were quarried. That is the name for it, quarried, in the Mokattam. quite in Mokattam hills. 2 million, 2.3 million. And they were then carried to the construction site. The Egyptians had no pulleys, so the only way to raise the blocks to the height necessary to fit them into the pyramid would have been an inclined plane. A long ramp built to cover one side of the pyramid. We're saying one side. I had this suggestion that we're going on all sides around. Now we're saying just on one side, like 7 times around. How the inside of the pyramid was built is unknown, but it may have been around a vertical core of masonry. So a vertical core of masonry, whatever it is, as in early pyramids. The core would have been cased with limestone blocks to give a steep effect. We have a core of masonry, and now you're stepping it with limestone blocks. The steps were then filled in with packing blocks, and lastly the sides were dressed with smooth facing stones. You have a core of masonry. Is it now filled or empty? Let's say it's filled. But how can you case something with limestone that is filled, so it's empty? But why? How do you get a core of masonry? And how do you case it with limestones? Just make directly with limestone. I don't get what you're describing here. In the center of the Great Pyramid lies Cheops burial chamber. So in the center, the burial chamber of Cheops, built of granite, it measures 10 times 5 meters. So 10 times 5 meters the burial chamber, and 6 meters. 10, 5, 6. No, 10, 5, 5. The king's 5 meters, quite high. The king's sarcophagus still lies in the room's west side. From the entrance on the north face of the pyramid, somewhere it's the entrance, then there's somewhere the north face of the pyramid, a corridor descended into the foundation rock. So not starting on top, but down, in the foundation rock under the earth, leading to an uncompleted burial chamber. 20 meters from the entrance, the original corridor connected with a second corridor which ascends 40 meters before leveling off and leading to a second uncompleted tomb chamber. From the entrance on the north face of the pyramid, a corridor descends into the foundation, leading to an uncompleted burial chamber. About 20 meters from the entrance, the original corridor connected with a second corridor, which ascends for about 40 meters, before leveling off and leading to a second uncompleted tomb chamber. This continues into a wide ascending to a second uncompleted tomb chamber. This continues into a wide ascending passage called the Cry Gallery, at the top of which is the King's Burial Chamber. So there's the entrance door. I think it's actually on the ground. And you go in, and then you go down to the ground. But before you come directly to the ground, you turn off to another staircase which leads up to a second burial chamber. And you follow the chamber through, and it goes up in a wide gallery further up, and at the top is Cheops' burial chamber. We don't have Hamlet. We continue the next part of reading the last few parts. They're mostly not to the Cheops pyramid. And then we try to memorize these things and try to make a presentation based on these information. Not otherwise, whatever. It was the architecture part. If you were here for architecture, you can go directly to the next part of architecture, where we're going to continue reading it and then trying to make a presentation about the Cheops pyramid. Or you can go to Egyptology, where we're going to make a presentation about all the pyramids of Giza. If you stay here and participate in the squat training, then it's very harmless. Wir bringen one further. And the other one. Take the leg at the ankle. Make a straight leg. Point with the knee down to the ground. The other one. And one leg to the side, the torso pointing in front and stretching the inner side of the leg. And again over. And go from side to side. And back into the middle. Now to the squats. We're starting with 12. Legs by the part and down. Number 1. Number 2, And let's make the trio full. 3, 4, and just 2 more, the 5, and now 6 we're having a half. Start strong with the second half. We are already at 8. 2 more for the 10, 9, and 10, and it is the last pair, 11 and 12. Now, the 6 back squat squeeze exercise. A bit down into the knees, quarter squat, and press against the top part of the leg, only on one side. And change. And halfway down and press in the middle of the leg. And on the other side. And 3/4 squat, press close to the knee. And on the other side. Up again. And now the fastest giraffe of the water pond. Down into 3/4 squat, press against the leg, go towards it. And on the other side, press, go towards it. Press, go towards it. Press, go towards it. Press, go towards it. Go towards it, last 2. Press, go towards it. Last 1, press, go towards it. And the last exercise is the propeller. Down into full squat, arms to the side, over to one side, press against the leg, look up to one end. Middle, over, press against the leg, look up to the end. Middle, up. And a bit stretching. One heel onto the ground, pull the toes in. Put to the left, pull in. To the right, pull in. Middle, move from left to right. Other heel onto the ground, pull in. Right, pull in. To the left, pull in. Middle, and move from left to right, left to right. One leg up. The other one. Take one leg at the ankle. Change. The legs wide apart. Breathe in. And up. Again in. Out. Breathe in and close the legs. And breathe again out. It was the squat training. Thank you very much. And the next.